Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. Today's project is very quick. We're going to be making a scrunchy scarf. Previously I've done a video where we've just made regular scrunchies, but this time it's going to be a little scarf attachment to the bottom of it as well, just for something a little bit different and something quick for me to make. I want to have something that's a little bit prettier than just a plain old scrunchie in my hair when I get the chance to tie it up. Come along and I'll show you how to do this quickly. We don't need much at all for this project. I have two pieces of fabric. One is 20 by 90 centimetres in length and the other is 10 by 55 centimetres or 4 by 22 inches. And then I have a piece of elastic. This is about 40 centimetres or 15 inches. That is 6 millimetres wide or 1/4 of an inch. Now that we've cut our fabric up, we're halfway finished. Let's fold the longer piece in half and then we'll fold that in half lengthwise. So we've got the fold on this edge and this edge here. And what we want to do is just create a curve or a point from the raw edge here to the corner up here. It can be any size you like, but if you need a measurement, let's go with 6 centimetres or about 2.5 inches. So I've come in about 6 centimetres from the raw edge in the corner here, and I'm just going to curve that a little bit. As I said, if you want to have a point, you can do that too, so you can make that sharper. In fact, that's what we'll do. So we're just going to draw a diagonal line straight across like that. So you can have it curved or sharp, it's up to yourself. And all I'm going to do is cut that straight off. So when you open that out, you've got a nice arrow at both ends. Now we can take this fabric again and place it right side together lengthwise. We've pinned this together. I'm going to sew from here across and down to the corner on this side, and I'll do the same thing from here down to the corner there, and I'm going to leave an opening of about that much. So we'll just leave an opening in this section here. Take that one to the machine and sew that, and that's for our scarf. This one here is for our scrunchie. So what we're going to do is take the short ends and bring that together, and we're going to sew across that short edge there. Again, you're bringing the right sides together. Let's go to the machine. First up, we'll do the scrunchie. I'm going to close up the short edges here, and we'll do a back stitch at the beginning and the end. Now I'll take the scarf and I'll start halfway across, and I'll back stitch at the beginning and when I get to the corner as well. And then I'll come back to the middle again and do the other side. All we need to do with the scrunchie is open it out and press your seams open. So finger press the seams open, set that aside. With the scarf, we can just clip the corners at each end and we'll turn it the right way around. So find the center opening and get into the corners and poke the corners out so that you've got a nice sharp point, or just fold it out evenly if you've got curves. And then we'll take that to the iron and we'll give that a really good press. Okay, I've pressed the seams open here, and with the scarf I've pressed that nicely. All I need to do is close up this little opening on the side here. So you don't need to go and top stitch, we'll just close that section up. And once you've closed that up, that's completely finished. Then we need to do the scrunchy section. Now the scrunchy, it's a little bit complicated to explain, but it's an incredibly easy process whilst you're at the machine. And take your elastic. You can either tie it into a knot if you like. I don't like knots in my elastic, so I'm going to just quickly take that to the machine, overlap it by a couple of centimetres and stitch the end down. I'll go and do that quickly. Okay, so that piece of elastic is secure. For the scrunchie, we're going to take the fabric and place the seam side faced down. And we've got the right sides facing. It really doesn't matter whether you have this face down or up, but seams are easy to use as guidelines. So I'll place the seam faced down with right sides together. I'll fold the top layer to the centre from either side, and I'll just let that sit there. So I've got this layer of fabric just sitting in the centre over the top of the back. Take your elastic and we'll place that inside there as well. Doesn't matter which way. And then we'll place these seams together. So we'll take this seam, bring that over these layers of fabric here, join that up with the other side. And we can take this to the machine now and start sewing. Now this is called the burrito roll method. It's just a method of sewing seams closed. So we've got this layer of fabric on the inside, tucked out of the way, and the elastic on the inside. And as we go to the machine, we'll keep the elastic behind the foot. We'll sew from here with a back stitch and continue on sewing all the way around until you get back to the beginning and leave a small opening of a couple of fingers width, just enough so that you can bring this fabric through. So we'll continue on sewing all the way, and as you sew you're going to have your elastic sitting in between the layers of fabric. Let's take this to the machine. Okay, just a back stitch at the beginning and the end, and we're only going to close up this small section. And that's all there is to that. Have the elastic kind of going around the foot so that it's well out of the way. We'll start sewing about where that seam is. So I've got the elastic sitting well out of the way, the layers of fabric on the inside of that tube. And away we go. As you go, this piece of fabric in the centre will be pulled forward, and just grab the little fold here, and that will start pulling that scrunchie through, and that will give you plenty of fabric to work with until you get to the other end. Just keep tucking the elastic in underneath. You don't want to sew over the elastic. Once you've done a few stitches, grab the end of the fabric here, just pull that toward you so you're grabbing the inside fabric. Keep pulling. The elastic's not going anywhere, it's just going to stay in that tube. And then bring those layers of fabric together again, pop the elastic back in underneath. Keep on pulling. You can see as I pull this fabric from the centre, it's scrunched up on the other end, and as I pull, it's pulling the fabric through. So this helps reduce that unnecessary step of having to turn your fabric through the right way after you've finished sewing it. Of course, the closer you get to the end or the beginning, the more scrunched up it's going to be. But we're nearly there. In fact, this is where I started sewing, just here, so I've only got a few inches to go. And I'll backstitch. So I've just left a very small opening here. We've got our elastic completely encased and our fabric is still the wrong way around. So we'll just go into this little opening here and pull that fabric through. And there's our fabric the right way around. The elastic is enclosed. We don't have to worry about any fiddly bits. And all we need to do is close up this side section here. Now you can see that this is quite a loose fitting scrunchie. If you prefer to have yours a lot more scrunched up, you can make the elastic shorter. And usually this is what I will do. I might have an elastic that is only about 30 centimetres long rather than this 40 centimetres. I actually do prefer them much more scrunched up. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of excess and sew that back together. And then I will sew that opening closed. So I've just cut off the excess and I'll restitch that and I'll sew up the opening and be right back. That looks much better scrunched up a little bit more, doesn't it? We are completely finished now with our scrunchie and the scarf. All that you need to do here is pop the fabric over your scrunchie and just tie that in a knot and place it in your hair. Very simple, isn't it? Okay, now some of you might remember that I had shoulder surgery some months back. I still can't raise my arm to put my hair up into a ponytail. So this is as far as my scrunchie scarf is going today. So you get the idea. All you need to do is wrap the scrunchie around your ponytail and you've got the tail of the scarf just sitting down nicely like that. So it just adds a little bit of femininity when you've got a scrunchie in your hair. So it's a very simple little project. I think these ones are going to be great when I go to my next rock and roll dance. I can make some to match my dresses. And then I can have a nice flowy scarf sitting at the back of my ponytail. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a quick one and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.